Hello, gentlemen. Welcome to another Palaview Market Research video. Today, I'm going to be describing you the difference between debt and equity, specifically in the instance of being an investment. An equity can refer to different things, but in the context of investing, you can engage as an investor as either someone who's giving someone a debt investment or an equity investment, or if you're someone who's raising capital for a startup or your business, you can take on and receive debt investments or equity investments. So in this video, I'm going to be helping you understand when is it better to use what and what the difference is and all the like, okay? So let's start off with this little chart thing with table thing. Okay. A debt investment, if you're the one investing, that means that you are a lender, right? On the other side, if you're an equity investor, that means you're becoming an owner in that company. So on the debt side, if I am interested in, say, owning a piece of property, right? And my friend is like, hey, I want to buy this piece of property, but I need another this amount to buy it, right? Then I might lend him that money and in return for a monthly payment, right? So that's what a mortgage is. So when you go and get a mortgage, right, you are receiving a debt investment from the bank so that you two, as a combined team, are buying this home. You have the equity in the home, meaning you have the title and the ownership is under your name. In order for you to maintain that ownership, you need to make your monthly payments, right? And obviously, the yield you're getting from it, the return you're getting from it as the investor on the debt side is in the form of an interest rate, right? So it's being a debt investor, a lender, if you will, is a lower risk, a lower return type of situation, but you can definitely make good money doing this, right? Obviously, there's huge lending businesses, huge funds that just exclusively lend to businesses, to properties, right? And then on the equity side, it's like it's most of the things that we talk about on this channel, right? It's owning securities, it's owning stocks, it's owning tokens. You are an equity stakeholder, an owner of that business, right? Like how we talked about in the S&P 500 video. If you go and you buy the S&P 500, that doesn't mean you just own this thing called the S&P 500. You put that $100 and split it into 500 pieces, and now you own all of those 500 companies, and that includes McDonald's, Boeing on the maybe more questionable side of things, Pfizer, and then Apple Computer, all these amazing business, Amazon, right? All those companies as well. Okay. Now, I want you guys to think about this in the context of someone raising money, right? Because we are all taught that it makes more sense to use, like, if I'm having a startup, right? That it makes sense to just raise equity dollars, right? But the last thing you want is to raise equity dollars from investors who, when your business fails, treats it like it was just a debt investment in the first place. And that can fucking happen. So, what I want you guys to think about is like for all the businesses that you work on, right? So, like real estate's an easy example where debt makes sense, right? So, if I'm trying to buy an investment property, right? And I'm not planning to live on it myself, the only risk is whether or not I am analyzing the market well enough and if I can actually put a tenant in that building. But assuming I can put a tenant in that building, then I have cash flow. And that cash flow can then go and be paying back my lender as a percentage of that monthly revenue, right? And the same is true for every type of business. A real estate building is just a business. It doesn't matter if it's an apartment building or if it's just one single apartment. That is a business, right? You have costs, you have profits, you have variable costs, fixed costs, right? So, and these are the types of ways that you get paid back. Like in an equity investment, you get typically like a dividend, right? Or like a distribution, right? Or if it's a speculation, right, which I don't really like to call an equity investment, meaning speculation being I'm investing in a stock, right, that does not pay a dividend. So that would be like a Snapchat, say. I am the only way I'm making money on that investment is if if the stock price goes up, right? Whereas with a lot of the great businesses that are traded on the stock market, you can buy it and then you'll be receiving a dividend income from it, right? whatever, 3 to 10% sometimes, right? But it's we live in this world now where people confuse, especially even professional investors will confuse equity investments that don't pay them anything at all, like the Snapchat example say, right? And then they'll go ahead and say an equity investment when really you're just engaging in a speculation because you're just betting on that this equity will go up in value and then I'll sell it when it goes up in value, right? Whereas on the debt side, right, you're getting a monthly payment most of the time, or a quarterly payment if that's how you negotiate your deal, right? The only way you're making money is off the interest that you put on it, right? Now, I want to describe an alternative model because I've seen more and more people in venture capital, in real estate, even in private equity, taking a hybrid approach. Say they'll give like a big line of credit, right? At like a 6 to 7% interest rate, right? So they give you a loan, okay? And in exchange for that loan, they will also ask for a piece of the business, right? So it's like a hybrid model, right? Where they're saying, okay, yeah, you have this startup idea, you have this idea for this business, whatever. I'll give you a loan for $10 million at 7% interest rate, but I also want 10% of the business, right? This is I like investments like this because you are combining that getting that monthly income and then you also have that swing in value, right? You're also getting exposure to the risk potential. You're getting the best of both, right? And I think when you get the best of both in equity, you're actually removing the risks from either also, at least mitigating them to some degree, right? Because you got that monthly cash flow in the form of receiving yield, which is the interest on the loan itself. And then you have that, like I keep saying, like that swing rise in value potential, right? Because if this company sells for 10x the investment, then at 10% allocation, whatever that was worth, just 10x in value, right? And you're still getting that 10 million back with interest. Okay? So these are some of the mechanics that you guys really want to be learning about in the context of being an investor and in context of being an entrepreneur. All right. And at the end of the day, when you're taking money from other people, which is OPM, people's money, you have to trust these people. And that's why we make these other videos like the psychology of money and things like that, right? So that you guys more can be more informed when you're picking the types of people you want to work with. Okay? That's today's video, guys. I hope you have a great freaking Tuesday. This is awesome. And yeah, love y'all.